Me too.
We are creating a magic life. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Big Magic. And we're using Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic, Creating Living Beyond Fear. We will explore, we have been exploring, we started last week, attitudes, approaches, and habits needed to uncover our hidden treasures, face our fears, and trust the universe. Trust that the universe is working in our favor at all times. All of which lead us to the most creative, magical lives. We are leading magical, I love that, magical lives. Why not? So last week we explored having the courage to discover the hidden treasures within us and uncover a few very important points that are the foundation for our work for the rest of the month. We like to build upon it. So the first, we define created living as a life that is driven more strongly by curiosity than by fear. A life from which we bring forth fulfillment and joy, and which in turn blesses the whole entire universe. Second, we said that every one of us, no exceptions, there's no one left out in this, every single one of us has within us these hidden treasures that when uncovered will bring forth that which brings us that joy and fulfillment. The third, what holds us back from discovering these hidden treasures and living a life of joy and fulfillment and being a blessing to the world is our fear, which according to Elizabeth Gilbert is boring. Fear is so boring. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Like, aren't you tired of fear? It's like, really, runs our lives. She writes this in her book on page 19. Our fears never change. They never delight, never offer a surprise twist or an unexpected finding. Fear is a song with only one note, only one word, sung over and over again in an endless loop, repeated at full volume. This is the fear package, she says, and there is nothing interesting or compelling or original about it. Then we all have a fear package. You know, we have this fear package that can get triggered, but the thing is not to stay there, not to let the fear control us. And then she poses a question that I posed last Sunday. Do we really want to build our lives around this boring instinct of fear? Because there are people that build their whole lives around fear. So, think about that. Think about that. Do you really want to build your life around fear that is so boring and counterproductive? Or do you want to build it around that, we've been talking all morning, that good, that's the capital G, that's the universal good, the good of God that wants for us to be happy and fulfilled because we're filled with this divine God energy essence. So we're expressing God when we are in those states, those high energy states. So let us move into some enchantment in our lives. Wouldn't you like to build a life around enchantment?
Yes.
It's not a word we use very often. But its definition is the quality that attracts and holds our attention. A magic spell. Enchantment. A magic spell. I love it. Today, we're going to explore that magic spell that occurs when we let ourselves be enchanted by inspiration, to be inspired. And I looked it up in the dictionary too for the inspiration, and that is divine influence on a person. So when you're inspired, you're in a very high energy realm, and it's great to be inspired. The trick is to listen to that inspiration. So here's how the inspiration is according to Gilbert. So try to wrap your head around this. It's kind of a really cool way of explaining and expressing ideas. A little twist that she has. Think about ideas as energetic life forms floating around the ethers. These little ideas are all over the place, just floating around. I love this definition that she's created about ideas. Think of them as one aspect of the creativity of Source, which is God. Remember, the universe thinks, and this is true, in ideas. It thinks in pictures. The universe's currency is ideas. That's the exchange. It is completely creative. It creates all that is, all that was, all that could ever be. That is the absolute basis of the creativity of this universal force of everything that is, that we are a part of, and it wants to express through us. So when you visualize, think of the picture, because you don't think of the word. When you think of a door, do you say D-O-O-R, the word? Or do you see a door, some kind of door? And it's the same thing with a car. You don't say car, C-A-R, the word. You think of the kind of car that you want to be driving around in. You're thinking in pictures. And that is the way the universal life force thinks, in pictures and ideas. So when you want to feel a certain emotion, feel that emotion. Feel what it feels like. Say it's peace. Feel like what peace really feels like. Not the word, but the emotion that it expresses. Be that emotion. That's how we are. It's all about manifesting this good into our lives in a way that's so effective and really works. This is called practical spirituality for a reason. We use it in our everyday lives. It's how we live our lives. So, there's an infinite number of formless ideas floating around. This is all part of Gilbert's idea. The open part of, this is good. The open part, this actually is, and I don't need a mic for this. I don't need a mic for life. I can't even whisper. Okay. So this are my happy, joyful people, all of us. And this is a Science of Mind symbol. And you see it's got these two lines. That's the foundation class. But this is a V that goes down. So this V is open at the top. It's open to all ideas. And that's how we were intended to be. Open at the top, open to all the new ideas. So we got to remember that everything we could ever want in life is already present. But we have to have that trust and faith deep enough to claim it, to step into it, to say, I'm open, fill me up, and it will. Try it, really try it. We float in a sea of limitless potentiality, but we must be a vibrational match to attract our desired good. We have to be in that same vibration. If it's joy in our lives, we have to be grateful. We have to be happy. and then we'll attract more of that vibration into us. But if we're not a vibrational match, it misses us. It misses us. That's the law of attraction. And the law of attraction, all of it is pure energy. Energy, everything is energy. Because God is energy. It is an energy, we call it divine energy, but in quantum physics, it's just energy. It's all there is. It's all consciousness. Energy is consciousness. And that's what we have to remember. This is the kind of spirituality that we live, that we talk about here, that we are all consciousness. Everything we do is consciousness. Science is now proving that consciousness truly is all that there is. And we're learning all about this in our law of attraction class that is taking place right now. And it's such a fun class. We're having such a good time. We've got great people in it. Of course, as Michael said, we're in my living room. So it's, it's a lot of fun, and there's free water. Anyway, so that class is good. Chances are fairly good that we won't notice our good when it does show up. Perhaps we are so consumed by our own dramas, by our own anxieties, our own conflicts. So when this good comes, there's no room for it to come through us. We're energy beings. So that energy of anxiety, of dramas, of gossips, and all of that stuff, that's really taking up our energy, that we could be open to receive more of this high vibrational feelings. That's the way we want to live. The idea, we might miss the signal. Then we might miss the signal because we're doing really important things, like watching TV. Like, if you're like me, on your cell phone, social media, or the news on the phone. I don't watch it on TV. I was so proud of that. And now I'm like watching it on on my phone. So this is taking up a lot of room in our energy field. We might be brooding over failures in our lives, over things that didn't work out the way we wanted them to. And all of this activity is taking up our time and our headspace. That headspace is getting full. So we have to have some opening for it to come through. The idea itself is floating around, will try to wave us down. Perhaps for a few moments, perhaps for a few months, and sometimes even for years. But when it finally realizes that we aren't open to living this enchanted life by these inspirations, it will leave us and move on to someone else. This is a great visual, these ideas. They're all floating around. Are we open to receive them? Sometimes, Gilbert writes, there comes a moment when you are open and relaxed. Meditation is great. When you are open and you are relaxed enough to actually receive something. Your defenses might slacken and your anxieties might be lessened. There's room. When you're doing this, the breath work is beautiful. When you're doing this and you have space for some inspiration to come through. It will send the universal physical and emotional signals of inspiration. And then in a quiet moment, it will ask you, do you want to work with me? Gilbert writes that in her book. Has anyone ever had that experience where these ideas have floated through them and we just don't have time to pursue them, or we're just too busy? We're just too busy doing all these important things in our lives, right? No wonder I'm rushing to get out of the house at the last minute, because I've already been on, well, I've been stretching and meditating, but I've been on the phone, I've been here, I've been there, because I've been so busy doing that I haven't allowed the relaxing wonderful moments where good and inspiration can flow through me happen. That's what we do. So at this point, of course, you have two options with those ideas when they float around. The simplest answer, and often the easiest answer, and sometimes it is the right answer, not all the time, but sometimes it is a simple no. No. Then we're off the hook. You get an idea, it strikes you, and then you go, nope, no. The idea will eventually go away, and you don't need to bother with it. It may not be the right time or the right idea for you. So this is what Elizabeth Gilbert writes. I have many times been approached by ideas that I know are not right for me. And I've politely said to them, I'm honored by your visitation, but I'm not you, I'm not your girl. May I respectfully suggest that you find another person? I always try to use, she says, my most gracious manners when sending an idea away. You don't want the word getting around the universe that you are very difficult to work with. So be sympathetic to the poor idea that is trying to find its way through you. Be sympathetic. Remember, all it wants to do is this is Gilbert, is to be realized. It's trying its best. It seriously has to knock on every door it can. So you might say no, and that's perfectly fine. When you say no, nothing happens. Nothing will happen when you say no to your idea, this idea. It's not your idea, it's the idea. The idea moves on then to someone else. But there's something really, really important to get. Have any of you had an idea, decided for whatever reason not to pursue it, and then seen the same idea brought into form by someone else, and you think, hey, they stole my idea. I was just thinking that. Or you got exactly what you wanted because that idea went on to find someone else. Well, we don't ever get to think that again because we, my friends, were not enchanted enough with it, so it found someone else to attach to and they acted on it. No blame, no guilt, just complete personal responsibility, because that's what we do teach here. Personal responsibility for our lives. Ernest Holmes writes this in Creative Mind and Success. We are created as individuals and as such have the power of choice. What we need to do to select what we feel to be right and know that the universe will never deny us anything. We choose. And when we choose, the mind creates. We should endeavor to choose that which will always express a greater life. Choose our ideas. These are inspirations. And these inspirations, when we take them in and we really pay attention, will allow us to manifest them into physical form. The ideas have to express through someone. This is the good of God. It has to express through someone. But we have to be open enough to allow it to express, and we can feel the fulfillment, the good, the joy, the love that is then a part of our life. So we have the choice to say no and let the idea go elsewhere. Then again, sometimes inspiration that will express the greater life lands on us, and we receive the universal physical and emotional signals, like you get the God bumps, your hair stands up, and you feel the chills, and you feel all these wonderful little signs, and you get a little excited. And we just might say, yes, that's for me. And I have to know, personally for me, that it feels right. When an idea lands on me and I'm moving with it, it's got to feel right. It's how we book all of our different wonderful workshops. We have a big one coming July. I can't even tell you about it. It's a concert. It's a big Bob Simon. It's a big, great workshop coming. But it landed on me, and I said, "Oh yes," because that's how long it takes when a good idea and everything in your body aligns with it, and you go, "Oh yeah, that'll be great." You don't have to know how it's going to work. You don't have to know that stuff. You do the what, and the universe will provide the how. That's the way it works when we trust that. Here's some more great words from Ernest Holmes in his Creative Mind and Success book. When we feel that we have the right idea leading, when that something inside us tells us we are being led, then no matter what it appears like, we must follow it. Something beyond our intelligence is doing the thing through us, and we must do nothing to contradict it. The great men and women, he wrote in the masculine, are the ones who get a vision and then go to work to make it come true. Never looking to one side, but always one-sided. One-pointedness means complete focus and calm determination. Stick to the thing until it is accomplished. It's how Joyful Gathering came into being 14 years ago. It's how it came. It was an idea. It was an idea whose time had come. And it's like one foot in front of the other. Came through Carol Mayo was with me. It came through the name, just Joyful Gathering. Why not? We're gathering people and we're joyful. The name just came through. No sitting around thinking about it. There was no visioning on it. None of that. It just, you need a board. Never been on a board. Create a board. All right, what do I need for a board? A nonprofit, no problem. 501c, a little difficult, but it came through. Really perfect timing. All of these things unfolded because I allowed an idea to say, I said yes to the idea after saying no to so many other ideas in my life. How many times have we said no to something, look back and go, darn it, that would have been really great. Even if I did it for a week, it would have been great. But we said no. And if you say no, the idea just floats away and finds someone else to land on. Holmes tells us we cannot think one way, one day, and then change our thought the next, and hope to get the desired result. We must be very clear in our thought, sending out only such thoughts as we wish to see manifested in our lives. I'm going to read that again because it's really good. I want to repeat that. We cannot think one way and then the next day change our thought and hope to get the desired result. We must be very clear in our thoughts, sending out such thoughts as we wish to see manifested in our life. Don't think about things that you don't want in your life. We put so much energy focusing on what we don't want. Well, I don't want that to happen, and I don't want that to happen. That's what we're attracting into our lives. Focus on what you want and don't deviate. If you deviate for a second, pull yourself right back. No deviation. We align with the physical and emotional signals of inspiration. Those chills, that flash of excitement, that feeling that you know that you're on the right path. That's what we align with. And then in a quiet moment, ask, do you want to work with me? Ask your idea then. Because I am telling you, this stuff works. You've seen it work over and over again. It works. Gilbert writes this on page 78. All I know for certain is that this is how I want to spend my life, collaborating to the best of my ability with the forces of inspiration that I can neither see, nor prove, nor command, nor even understand. It's a strange line of work, she said, admittedly, but I cannot think of any better way to pass my days. Inspiration. How about you? How about you? As you contemplate that answer, I invite you to close your eyes. Take you through a little thing here. And really contemplate the answer. How about you? How about you? Do you want to live your life embracing enchantment? Embracing the enchantment of the inspiration that comes to you? Embracing inspiration itself, which is the creativity of God landing on you as an idea. That's the big picture. A theoretical question, and I suspect every one of us would say yes to that. I want to take it down to a more personal level and ask you a personal question. Is there an idea right now that has captured your attention? An idea that has inspired you, maybe even given you that full body response of, yeah, I really want to do that. I really would like to do that. Have you embraced the enchantment of that idea? Have you allowed that idea to take inspiration and grab a hold of you, grab your attention, to put a magic spell over you so that you move forward? Do whatever step is next to you. Don't question it. Just step. Because if it feels right, it's good. Just step. And then the next step. And then the next step. And you're bringing that idea into manifestation, into your life. Know that you are living creatively. Really creatively. Which is the way you naturally came here. It's the way that God intended you to live your life, expressing those gifts that are within you. You are bringing joy and fulfillment, not only to yourself, but to everyone around you. You are blessing our planet. You are blessing it. You are being who you came here to be. So if this answer to that series of questions is yes, then my prayer for you this morning is that knowing that there is one source, one creative energy, one infinite being of limitless potentiality that is always moving and creating life. I proclaim that we take that divine idea, we take that inspired thought, we take that nudge of supreme intelligence and let it have its way with us, let it guide us, let it come into absolute fruition and perfect manifestation in our lives. And we have the courage to move forward with that creativity, because anything we can think of, and even the things that support the idea that we cannot think of, are already present. We are open to receive, to absolutely receive this divine gift, this beautiful idea of inspiration into our lives. And we have the courage and the foresight to follow it, to allow it to enrich us, to live our best lives. This is all about living our best lives. How wonderful is that? How grateful am I to speak this word of truth, knowing that each and every person here is in their perfect place at all times, that they are filled with this loving energy. It flows not only through them, but around them and to them. We are immersed in a sea of infinite creativity. We are that ocean in the drop of water. That is who we are. We are everything when we open up to that everything. Nothing can hold us back but our own thoughts of no, I can't. Well, the universe is telling us, yes, you can, and yes, you will. So I am so grateful to speak this word of absolute truth for each and every one here. I am so grateful for the good that's flowing in and through and as each one. I am so grateful for the magnificent, glorious, beautiful lives that we are creating. And we do it here in community. We hold each other. We support each other. In consciousness, we support each other. Consciousness is not linear. So it is in all places at all times, and that is our energy. We are in all places, in all times. So I give thanks, deep, deep thanks, for this word spoken, for the flow of good that is moving through everyone right now, unencumbered, unblocked. Nothing can stop it. And it is flowing through each one into manifestation as a life of absolute fulfillment and happiness. And I release this word in its completeness into that law of universal mind, the law that takes this word and fulfills it, manifests it, brings it into demonstration in the most beautiful ways in each and everyone's life. I say, thank you, God, for this good. And I let it be. And we all say, and so it is.